So here we are, 4:30ish on Tuesday, the 17th of November, and I wanted to just update myself and remind myself of a couple of things from today. So I had a medical review with the reconstructive surgeon today, and a couple of things about that. One is John and I had to travel to Mossman for that consult, and that drive took a lot out of me, and I still get really emotional and wound up about medical appointments, especially where I know I'm going to be meeting people who get to check my boobs and my belly and parts of my anatomy that I don't usually grant lots of public access to. So that happened today as I met a new clinic nurse who was looking at my wounds. And I hadn't realized how much that takes out of me, or how much I get angsty about that. I hadn't even been cognizant of the fact that I was going to be anxious about it. It's just, it arrives. Um, and usually after the effect that arrives, when I go, oh, there's an incredible sense of relief and it wasn't that bad, and why do I still feel icky about this? But I do. I still feel icky about it. Which is, and one of the things is that the surgeon and the nurse are admiring or looking at their handiwork, well, the surgeon's handiwork. So, but it still feels very much a part of me because it is. So there's this sense of my body and my physique being judged, which throws me back into all sorts of pre-teen, tween, and teenage and 20s horror, particularly around my bust size and my femininity. So, yay, that is still going on, and it has just totally wrecked me today. So the physical demands of the 2 hours of traveling and the emotional demands of that consult, which went for a whole half an hour. But it's not just being in the room and nothing bad has to happen, but it's all the stuff that your physiology is doing before you go in and then what it's doing afterwards. That's where the exhaustion for me comes into play. So the good news is things are healing well. I don't have any infections. I don't have any site infections, but I do have 3 areas that haven't healed at the same rate as the other wounds. So I've now got some extra wound care to do for the next 3 weeks until we have our 3 or 4 weeks until we have my next review. And so it just means showering has become a little bit more tedious as I have to redress these. I haven't needed to change dressings daily. They use this really cool medical tape. They put it on, they leave it on and they won't. It's like, to take this off. So I haven't got lots of padding or cotton wads or anything like that. It's just this tape that's placed over the wounds. But now I've got to change that up a little bit. So that will be, it just means I've got to pace myself and not be in such a rush trying to conserve energy getting out of the shower and getting dried and getting dressed, and because that actually takes a lot of energy. So just a little bit of a change up in the routine there. And then Dr. Joe talked about the fact that the final surgery, the revision surgery, could happen as soon as 3 months. So that would be awesome. I really just want the time frame from all the things that need to be done really small, so that I can have this all behind me and just get on with the whole recovery. So he needs to basically tidy up the things that he wasn't able to tidy up in the original surgery, because it's such a big surgery, and they need to then go and wait for your body to see how it's going to handle the grafts and what happens to your shape and volume when swelling subsides. So I'm not quite sure what's going to be involved in the next lot of surgery, but I do know that it's a day only procedure that'll only involve one surgeon, and at this stage I think it only involves one surgeon. Who knows? But that's pretty cool to know that could all be done and dusted, and I could be well on my way to all the recovery. Hurrah! So that's my update. So hoping that I can come back to these videos and remember about the emotional load that's on me when I go for a medical appointment. So we've got, just the fact that there was lots of bad news in the first 6 months in February when I kept going for medical appointments. So I think there's still a bit of residual effect of that left over as well, even though I've had the no evidence of disease stamp placed on my file. I think there's still a bit of what are they going to tell me that goes on. But then there's also this throughout this whole journey having to deal with my body image and scrutiny and that stuff, which doesn't feel like it's gotten any less. I'm just hyper aware of how it manifests for a woman who's nearly 50, which I think is kind of crazy. So we obviously need to be teaching our younger people stuff that I didn't learn as a little girl. Anywho, I obviously need another sleep. Look how dark my eyes are. That's not makeup, people. That is actual fatigue. And I haven't been able to sleep. I didn't manage the pain as well as I could have today. And now I've got pain insomnia where I just can't sleep even though I'm exhausted because I can't settle the pain. This is where I'd usually have a bath. I'm not allowed to do that. I've got another 5 weeks before I can immerse myself in water. That's a bit sad. So we won't think about that. We'll go find something else to do.